Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Hopefully, you've all had a fantastic Thursday. This is going to be our daily cryptocurrency market update, and we've continuously reiterated our bias for this market and looked at it technically, also fundamentally, given everything that the Federal Reserve are doing for a while now. So I kind of wanted to do a bit of a different update where we really look at some of the news. And in actual fact, probably what we're going to spend quite a bit of this video doing is talking about Ethereum. Love it or hate it, guys. They are getting one step closer to actually merging to proof of stake. We had the Ethereum Ropsten testnet successfully merge. I think this is the last testnet merge that they are going to do before trying to actually do the Ethereum mainnet merge onto proof of stake. Now, this is extremely bullish for Ethereum for a number of reasons. However, given the backdrop that the cryptocurrency market currently has, where it finds itself in the kind of whirlwind that is the kind of macro financial landscape, you'd have thought it would be doing a little bit better than it currently is doing. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't see a price increase that would largely have to be supported by Bitcoin getting a bit more of a relief rally than it's already seeing. But given how close this merge is supposed to be, I think August is when the merge is actually supposed to take place. That was, I believe, confirmed by Vitalik himself. I can't remember at what conference. You'd have thought Ethereum and you'd have thought people would have been buying in preparation, and that just hasn't been the case. And it's a huge testimony and confirmation of our bias that, look, this market is likely to see more downside across the board, and the fundamentals and technicals support that. And when I say fundamentals, I mean fundamentals of what's going on with markets right now, the equity market, the stock market, the commodity market. When you tie everything together, there's a picture that gets painted, and it isn't a particularly positive one for the cryptocurrency market. That being said, doesn't mean we can't have a relief rally until we eventually see those lower prices. So we'll leave some of the technicals, and we will get into Ethereum technicals, because Ethereum kind of looks poised for some sort of a move. It's very much doing a similar structure here to what it did over here. The difference being is the overall market conditions, but we will talk about that towards the end of the video. I'll also mention Optimism, but I really want to do a in-depth write-up on this because there's some comical elements to the Optimism sending, their token to the wrong address, and then of course the guy dumping it and keeping some of it, and maybe potentially being one of the biggest governance voters, which is not what they want at all. And this is one of the issues. I mean, it still amazes me that people can send coins to the wrong address, certainly when you're talking about millions. But in actual fact, this isn't just a disease. The kind of mishaps that we have isn't just a crypto disease. It wasn't that long ago that Barclays, I think, accidentally sold at a discounted rate something, and it was a real mishap to the tune of multi-millions. So this is something we see in finance all the time. Crypto isn't immune to it, and it's not going to be the last time that something like this happens. Let's talk about Ethereum and their merge, supposedly coming in August. August, yeah, I'm just double checking that I've got the months right there. And Ethereum has essentially successfully merged on their testnet. Now, this was the post. This was from Ethereum chain_org. The Ropsten testnet, or network, sorry, just merged. One of the last testnets until we merge on Ethereum's mainnet. And of course, you can see this is some of the code involved. And then this, of course, is the actual testnet themselves, and you can see it seems to be working. Now, there have been issues with other testnets. As an Ethereum holder, I'd like to get Ethereum cheaper. I'm making no bones about that, and ultimately, I think that that's probably a likely play. But it would be really good to see Ethereum merge after essentially, they've been talking about it since 2016. I'll read a little bit of this, and then we'll really move on and get into some other stuff. But this would be an extremely significant event for Ethereum. And in actual fact, if they do this successfully, a very sort of what's the right word here? A very kind of pivotal point in Ethereum's kind of cycle and growth and kind of project. I do have extreme concerns though, because if this merge doesn't go to plan, so if they've done all the testnet and they actually go to merge and then they start having issues, because the reason the Ethereum merge is so hard is if Ethereum was just its own chain and there was nothing built on it, it would be a lot more simple. But you're trying to merge a chain that has literally thousands of coins built on top of it, and you're trying to do that without any kind of hiccups. Easier said than done, in my opinion, and this is where my worry for the ETH merge actually comes in, because it just seems like almost an impossible task. But if it is successful, you know, they're going to do very well as a result of it. It's going to make Ethereum more scalable, and it's going to bring a number of benefits, hopefully cheaper prices. In terms of gas fees, I don't think it will completely eliminate the gas fees, and I think there is still a relevance for layer 2s like Optimism that we're going to talk about. But it's a very hard task that they're trying to do. But we'll read a little bit of the article. Ethereum has largely passed its next significant step in migrating the blockchain from proof of work to proof of stake. And it says here, minus a couple of hiccups. So they will not actually do the official merge, or I'd certainly like to think that they wouldn't, until they get to a point where they're not having hiccups. So even though this is significant, there's still hiccups taking place. And when you're talking about a blockchain that has hundreds of billions in terms of market cap, those hiccups can be extremely costly to someone, if not, last but least, the credibility of Ethereum. The Ropsten merge, the latest in the series of test runs before the protocol mainnet undergoes the transition later this year. Missed a couple of validating blocks proposal along the way. So they actually missed out some blocks. This is actually something that we've seen prior, where I think it might have been 7 blocks were left out of one of the other testnets that we're doing. That can't happen. Because if you think about, you know, a blockchain and what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to be this immutable ledger that you can't tinker with. You know, it's one of the main selling points for Bitcoin. Ropsten Ethereum's first testnet network has been live since November 2016. Over the next few days, minor software release addressing kinks are expected. So it's not completely ironed out yet, but the merge has happened. So articles and media, guys, this is something that you've really got to get to grips with, are very much like sweet wrappers. They are trying to entice you into reading them, or in the case of a sweet, for example, like a Haribo's or something like that, very much enticing you to go and eat them. But essentially, 2 more public testnet merges on Ethereum. I'm not going to try and say these network are scheduled to be executed before the mainnet merge. So it's going to be anybody who's interested in following this, pay attention to the next 2 testnet merges that are going on, and see what the kind of issues are with them, if any, and then you're going to kind of get a good feel of, if they go without a hitch, no reason to suggest we don't get the old Ethereum 2.0 or whatever it is they're now calling it. I'm not sure what they're calling it now. But it's good. The fact that the price hasn't done anything really on the back end of this says a lot about the market that we're in, I think. And what we really try and do as market analysts is garner a full picture of the crypto space from a number of different data points. This is just one of many, looking at, okay, well, this is really significant news if you understand what the ETH merge is actually going to bring to Ethereum. It's going to be, people have spoke about the triple halvening and all these other things. But the price just simply doesn't reflect that in any way, shape, or form. And it's a huge testimony to the kind of market that we're in, and a real confirmation of the bias that I have. We've spoken about that. This is it. We, of course, had the Optimism token stolen by an attacker after Winter Mute sent wrong wallet address. So did they really steal it, or was it just a mishap? But this has certainly seen the price of OP. And what I will do is use my Bitcoin chart to see if we can pull this up. Computer may be being really slow this morning, so we may have to leave that. Yeah, we'll probably leave that. But the price has certainly come down, and the issue that they've got is the actual attacker, the guy that they sent the wrong thing to, still has quite a bit of it, which gives him some power over the protocol. But we're going to do a lot longer write-up on this on my Patreon. Anybody that's interested in joining that, there is a link, of course, in the description. So we've got the big day tomorrow, which of course is when we're going to get the inflationary stats for the United States. Extremely significant because We know that the regime that the Federal Reserve are now putting in place is to tackle inflation, and the regime that they have in place is upping interest rates, reducing the balance sheet to the tune of, I think they're looking for trillions, but they're going to do it billions at a time. This is all very regressive to markets, and I've done a lot longer talks on this. So tomorrow is a really significant day. We had news from the ECB, European Central Bank, that are now going to look to really get more aggressive than they have been. Typically, when the European Central Bank raise interest rates, that's when you know you're in a recession. And this term recession is getting thrown around. Typically as well, people actually go, okay, we're in a recession when we're already in one. They don't go, there's no perfect start and perfect finish. But the outlook for the economy generally, if you look at growth, if you look at everything, is down. And that really, again, is another bias that we have, or another narrative that we have to confirm our bias, that we eventually get lower prices. Even if we do see rallies in the short term, this is a downtrend, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no way of getting around that. So I want to love and leave you all on that note. Have a fantastic Thursday, everybody, and I'll be back probably later on today with another video on some topic that we'll choose. We've got lots of recorded videos that we still have to release, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Certainly catch you tomorrow for another daily cryptocurrency market update. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.